What is going on, everybody? It is Aaron Tates and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be doing something a little bit different on the truck. I've noticed that my roof has been leaking and I don't really know where it's coming from. I noticed that underneath my floor mats in my truck was getting wet. I noticed in between my seat, mainly all along this floorboard right here, you can see there's some rust underneath this little panel right here. We're going to do a little bit at a time. I know this seal is messed up, but it's not messed up on the other side, and it's leaking on both sides. And the headliner back here isn't wet or anything, so I know if people have said for third brake light seals that mess up, your headliner will get wet and everything, but it's going from the back to the front and everything is wet. We're gonna go step by step and do the third brake light gasket. If that doesn't fix it, we'll try the door seals, and if that doesn't fix it, we'll just keep going from there. But for this video, we're going to do our third brake light gasket, and we're going to be putting some tweeters in my doors. I've had these audio pipe tweeters for about 3 years now, and I've never put them in my doors because I just keep putting it off. I'm like, oh, I'm going to build my doors, and I still haven't built my doors for speakers, and I'm tired of having them and not using them. So until my doors get eventually built, which they will eventually, I'll get around to it, we're gonna go ahead and put the tweeters in the doors. So I'm tired of having them sitting and not using them. I can run them off stock door speakers. They have the capacitor on them, so they'll get whatever wattage is coming from the radio. I have an aftermarket Pioneer radio, and when I build my doors, the little wire cover right here is going to be getting thrown away, so I'm just going to cut into this and mount them in here, so I don't have to worry about ever putting it back on. When I build my doors, I'm doing 2 6.5s in the doors, so this whole metal piece will be gone. I won't have to be worried about reusing it. So today we're going to jump in, we're going to put the third brake light gasket in, we're going to do these tweeters. Like everything, guys, everything I use in the videos is always linked down in the description below. It's always usually an Amazon link, unless I say otherwise. So we're going to go ahead and get this popped out. And I can already kind of see there's some leaves and everything up underneath of it. And when I did the wrap, I had to take the third brake light off. So I'm guessing that something didn't seal correctly when I put it back on. And this is probably it. Hey everybody, the new gasket is on. The link for this will be down in the description below. I don't know if this will work better on a stock third brake light, but it definitely is not meant for an aftermarket third brake light. I had to tear it and kind of overlap it right here and bend it around this hole, but hopefully it'll work. I don't think this is my problem. I feel like I'm gonna have to order new door seals because the gasket that was on here was very stuck all the way around. So unless there was just one little gap that water was getting in, and it was so bad that water was getting everywhere like that, I guess that could be it, but I really don't think this was the problem. So we'll have to, I guess, see if this fixes it, and I guess tackle the door seals in another video. But we're gonna get this reinstalled and jump into doing the tweeters. Okay, now let's take off the door panels to put the tweeters in the doors itself. There's a screw behind your lock. There's a little star bit right there. There's normally a 7mm right here. Every now and then, depends on the truck, if there's one behind here. And there's normally one right there. So I'm gonna take off both of these off camera. I'm not gonna bore you with the time lapse, and we'll get to put the speakers in. This is what it looks like underneath my door panel. I just have a Crescendo door speaker in here with, I have no idea what kind of speaker it is. It was given to me. It's got a little tweeter and then some mid-range. Nothing fancy. And then just a standard door panel. We're going to be putting both of these speakers right here side by side. We're going to be cutting the bows out and then cutting a section right there. That way I'm not putting anything in front of this speaker. Now, how I'm going to be cutting this out, I'm actually going to take that little cutting wheel and cut a little section, and then I'll trim it out bigger and bigger until The tweeter itself fits in the door panel, and then of course do the same thing here. But you want to take a Sharpie and kind of measure out where it's at. Okay, and then right here I took the tweeters and just set them on the metal itself and traced outside with a Sharpie. Try and get something that's going to stand out from this gray, because I think most of the time these are gray or black on all of these vehicles. So try and get something that's going to stand out, and then I'm going to go through, and I might try and use a wire cutter, but I'll update you guys as I go. Well guys, a couple hours later and a lot of frustration, I have the tweeters in. The reason why I kept getting frustrated, I have some like 18 gauge speaker wire, and for whatever reason when I was soldering it to the connection on the tweeters, it just kept breaking off and kept breaking off. And I kept having to pull it back out and resolder it. But we finally have the tweeters in. This is what it's going to look like temporarily. This is going to bother my OCD, the logo's being twisted, but I just wanted them in. I'm tired of fighting with them. I'm going to knock out the other door. What I ended up using to cut is I used a cutting wheel and kind of just cut out a little square. And I used some wire cutters to trim out. If you have a hole saw or anything like that, I imagine that would work a lot better, but I didn't have a hole saw. When I build my doors, I definitely will invest in a hole saw. But that's why you do things yourself, because you learn as you go. You don't just start something knowing how to do it. This is my first time ever installing tweeters in anything, so now I know in the future if I'm ever going to put tweeters in something, use a hole saw. It'll save you a lot of frustration. Now I'm going to go ahead and hook this side up just so you guys get to see it, and then I'm going to do the other side off camera, and then we'll show you the finished product. Alright everybody, I have it installed, and I must say, and you can see the wires behind it, I am not very happy with how this turned out. I wanted them in there, but like I said, my speaker wire kept breaking off. I got out here, I was putting the door panel back on, wire broke again. So this time I said, alright, screw soldering it. I just put a connector on it to connect it to the tweeter, to the speaker wire. And yeah, it worked. I had to clean all the solder off the tweeter itself in order to get the connector on there. And then I'm so worried about the wires breaking off again that I didn't really want to mess with them and try and hide them. So now they're just plain as day. You can see them through the grill, and I'm not a fan of being able to see the wires. I think before I build the doors, it's something else that I can learn from. Get a thicker gauge of speaker wire, because now I don't want to stop, because I don't want to take it back out and have holes in my grill on my door. Did not go how I wanted, and I debated for a couple minutes whether I was going to post this video or not, but I figured, you know, I want to be completely through with you guys. I want to post things when I fail. So I'm going to take this as a fail in my book. They work, they're in there, but it's not clean, it's not done probably the right way. So I'm not very happy with how it turned out, but finish it up, guys. Alright everybody, there is the door speakers. The passenger side honestly looks worse than the driver's side. I can't even lie to you guys. You guys know I'm going to be straightforward with you. But you live and you learn. Now I know when it comes time to put more speakers in my doors, I'm going to do 2 6.5s in each door and 2 tweeters in each door. Now I know what all I need to do it, and do it the right way. Definitely not the way this time. I need thicker speaker wire, and I need something better to drill holes. But when it comes time to do the doors, I'm buying already made pods, so luckily the holes will already be done. So really, only concern is speaker wire at this point. But they're in. Like I said, they don't look the best, but they are in. They're working. They're very loud, and they are temporary, because that's going to drive me crazy, and that'll push me to get the doors built a lot faster. Now guys, I apologize that this video was not the best. It was kind of all over the place. A mix of me picking up the camera, putting down the camera, and kind of just telling you what was going on. I'm not happy with how this video turned out, but I want to be straightforward with you guys. When I fail, I fail. When I win, I win. And I want you guys to be there with me. So if you enjoyed this video, go down, hit that like button, drop a comment what you'd like to see, and hit the subscribe button if you enjoy watching my videos. It really helps me out. 91% of you are not subscribed, so really if you're just watching this video, go down and hit the subscribe button. It will not hurt you, will not cost you anything, but it will help me out. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.